What up, YouTubes? We have made it to beautiful Crystal Lake, which you can't quite see yet. It's back behind me just through the tree line. I got me and the little dudes. We're gonna be out here for at least one day. We're talking about 2. So stay with us and enjoy our outdoor activities. We're gonna be doing some fishing, some cooking, maybe a little bit of bushcraft. I don't know, we'll see. This one's a little different than the ones we normally do. We got a bunch of folks out around us. Normally we like our solitude. Stand by as we get camp set, and we'll hit the walking path down to the river, or sorry, I guess to the lake. Little dudes want to fish. Thanks for watching, guys. Camp is up. Nothing spectacular here. As you guys know, if you've seen the videos, I do not like established campgrounds, but I got the kids with, and I don't want to be selfish, so we are here for the lake. That being said, here we are. If you haven't seen videos before, got a truck topper, and we set it up to where we have platforms in the back that we can lay out. We can spill and eat our food in the camper. We can wrestle. They have their iPad hooked up. Storage compartment in the bottom with a ton of stuff. Hey, no. You're spilling your food everywhere. Start picking it up now. Pick it up. It is bear country. Up top on the rack, I have solar running right now that feeds back down through behind the shell near the bulkhead, runs in, and it actually charges our power pack as we're using any of our electronics. We try not to use a ton of electronics out here though. I gotta have something to keep them busy while I'm setting up, so iPad. But we're gonna hike down through, it's not far, just through this tree line here. We're gonna hit the lake, Crystal Lake, which is, it dries up some years about end of July, and then other years into August. It looked like it was plenty of water left in it now. So we're gonna go down there and try and fish and catch some dinner. Well, it's a little blustery over the lake, but here is Crystal Lake in all of its glory. So we had the kids as lines in for about 0.5 seconds before they both absolutely just destroyed theirs. So yeah, I'm the only one still fishing. They are tucked in there somewhat, taking a little bit of a break. But if we catch a fish, I'm gonna try and get this thing on in time. I think this is stocked with purely trout, so we'll see what happens. Not a huge fan of propane stoves. It's blowing like crazy out here. Well, it's getting better now, I guess, but it's blowing pretty good. And it's nothing but timber out here and kind of a hooker to get to where the downed branches are on the hillsides. This burned out, I guess, a couple years ago. I'm assuming because of something like this. So round 1, beef stew and ramen noodles. Camp update. Dinner is served. Knox is a little upset. He just woke up, but he's smashing ramen noodles. Maddox already got down on ramen noodles. Dad is crushing beef stew. Turned out great. We got new neighbors, Californians. They're doing a site survey. figuring out where the best place to camp is. I shit you not, they've been out there walking in circles, staring at the ground, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them just walking in circles. I hope they don't move here. Well, fishing is shit. I broke my line. I did not bring the tackle box, rookie mistake. But we're just gonna enjoy the water a little. There's a lot of folks out here paddleboarding.
Find a big rock.
What do you want?
I need a big rock.
Well, find me one. It's hard to think this dries up. It doesn't get super deep. I've been up to about nipple line or so, and that's what, soccer ball? I don't know, we'll find it. Hold on, nipple line or so, and that's really it. But I'd imagine it probably gets to 12 to 24-ish at the minimum. Stand by, man. We're gonna keep trying for some fish. Crystal Lake is certainly cool, especially if you find yourself in possession of a paddleboard. It's predominantly what we've seen out here is paddleboards. I don't think you can do motorized boats on the lake. It doesn't seem to be that kind of lake, but I think next time a paddleboard would be perfect. These two are playing swords, so eyes are in danger. So we're gonna stay here for the night, and then we're gonna move to a smaller, a little more secluded flatland lake versus up here in the mountains with a lot of attention. It's a very small little lake, but I think we'll have better luck fishing there, and also won't have as aggressive of gusts. We kind of tucked ourselves back into this little cove. It took some doing to get to, but the wind isn't as bad here, but it's just a little too breezy to be warm enough for these two to get in the water. It's about probably 86-ish right now, but with that wind blowing, it just does not feel it. So tomorrow I think will be a better day at a different location, but Crystal Lake is very beautiful, minus the Jedi Star Wars fight. Crystal Lake is gorgeous, just maybe a little over their heads, pun intended. So on the way back to camp, I grabbed a little bit of pine tar. This tree is just piss and sap. So to gather that, what I did was grab just a piece of green foliage, rolled it up in that, and that's in the wagon. And then I stole a little bit of this green moss. When I say green, it is the color green, but it's super dead. And then I loaded up some dead wood in the wagon, so we should have more than enough to start a fire. I got a pissed off kid here, fairly happy one there. Let's head back to camp. It's really hard to complain out here. You help you? Let me get it. Such a beautiful country. I wish I could have caught fish though. That's my hope. You guys saw about a quarter of the amount of time I put into it. Maybe not even that, but just a fraction of it. There you go. We really got after it fishing, and it's just wasn't happening. So it's gonna be some red meat tonight with some amazing seasoning. If you haven't seen the videos in the past, you got to keep watching, because the seasoning that I use, the stuff I found, my God, there's nothing better than it. So stay tuned for a little bit of surf and a little bit of turf. Slave labor, what? Go. Help your brother, push it.
Push it.
Keep going. Get it going, go, 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 Knox, go. Gotta do everything. Let me see it. I got it. That should be enough wood to get us started. There's plenty on this dead hillside. and our camp is right there. So we'll go pillage that. Knox, get your hat. So on the menu tonight, some ribeye and some shrimp. Tripod mode engaged. So we're gonna season these. We're gonna let them sit, and then we're gonna talk about 2 different ways to start your campfire. So normally I'd put a binder on this, but it's really wet, so I'm not even gonna mess with it. We're just gonna leave it as is. I gotta pop some of these tails off for this shrimp, but I'm not gonna use all of these for tonight. Some of those are for the next video. Stay tuned for that. So what I wanna do, now that they're wet still, normally I would dab these off, but they're wet, and then I would add a binder to them, but we're just gonna use the moisture as a binder tonight because outdoor kitchen equals a few shortcuts. So let's get rid of these tails. Get you a better angle there. There you go. I'm really bummed out how windy it was. It kind of really took the wind out of the sail, pun intended, I guess, for the boys to play in the water. I'm thinking tomorrow, the spot we're gonna go to, total different video, but the spot we're gonna go to is gonna be a little more pleasant as far as the wind goes. The area we're in is renowned for its high winds, but we got back into this pass and I thought it wouldn't be as bad. But on the other side of the mountains that way, there's a giant wind farm. And yeah, wind farm equates to probably a lot of wind. So I'm not shocked by that. So we're gonna go garlic salt heavy. So just the basics, garlic salt heavy on these guys. I'm not gonna do both sides because I'm gonna re-season in the pan. So garlic salt heavy there. And then gotta get the other seasoning out of the dry bag. All right, sorry, bear with me. This bad bitch, let's get him blasted. So this is the seasoning I've been raving about. Lutin Booty Barbecue, Jolly Roger Jalapeno Garlic Black Rub. That stuff. Right there. It is absolutely delicious. The best steak I've ever had is with this on it, and I can cook a steak. Be generous. You get an amazing crust and this perfect garlicky salt and pepper taste to it, because I was just a purely salt and pepper guy, and then I gave this a try, and my gosh, there's not a lot of things better than garlic, salt and pepper, and crust, and this gets all 3 done in one. So we're gonna let all of that sit for a minute. That is delish. We'll let all that sit for a minute. Let's go get the fire going. We're gonna show you not 1, but 2 ways to start your fire. So we got just what we could scavenge. So like any good camper, I was able to steal all of this wood from that campsite after they left. So we've acquired some wood. Then what I did was grab that log that had this dead bark on the outside of it, half of which we've used here. If you've seen the videos, it's called a rat's nest. If you haven't seen them, I call it a rat's nest when we make a fire. So I used a big chunk of bark to get myself up off the ground, whatever. I have a fire pit here, but if I'm making a fire here and it's wet right here, this bark gets me off the ground. I prefer not wet bark, but even if it's a little bit damp, it's better than just saturated with water, dirt or mud or whatever. So then I grabbed a rotted out piece of wood. I stripped everything off the back, put it in here, and I made like a fine powder out of it. So I just ripped chunks off, stick it down here, and just mash it, mush it together. So that's just this fine, almost like sawdust material. The mast pole for our tent I've chopped up all the branches. Those are my kindling. Those are all extremely dry. I'm gonna bust these up here in a second. These are my second level of kindling, a little thicker. And then I got my big chunks here that I stole from the neighbors. So for starter, I got this good stuff right here. I took that other section of the bark off that log there. Here is some dead pine bars, some green ones. These green ones are even almost better. They have just so much fuel inside of them. Let me move this up here so we can see a little better. This is the most important part. And then this green dried, or this green grass, within that is where I had that sappy pine tar material. There's a little bit more here. So I got about 3 bundles of that, and then I got this just nasty dry moss. So this will be the first thing we use, coupled with pine tar, these on top. They catch the spark, everything goes boom. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. All right, so I don't like it. Let's get rid of the green. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Take a break, reset, and we're gonna work that moss. We're gonna work that a little more. Let's get that a little bit more refined as far as the powder goes. This is not magic. It always seems simple when you do it, and it's never the first strike. So let's work this a little more and try again. How is it?
Good.
Which one is gonna make me crazy first?
Me.
My money's on that one. Demon boy. Who's the demon boy? Where is your crazy at? Yeah, it's in there. That's right. My God. Oh yeah. Medium rare to rare. That's what we're looking for, guys. Bon appetit. Taste test. I already know the answer, but let's try it. Get out of here. That is heavenly. You're gonna pay way too much money for something that tastes that good anywhere else. And my surroundings, are you kidding me? Look around. What more could you ask for? Get your kids outside, even though they drive me crazy. Look at this nightmare. Hey, where's your crazy at? Where is it? In your head, yeah. See, he even knows. But like I'm saying, guys, get outside. Get these kids out. Don't let them drown in front of video games, poison their minds. Don't forget either, if you're watching this, hit the like button. It's only right down there. Hit the like button, subscribe, send it to one of your friends. Make me not have to do my day job anymore. I don't enjoy it anymore. It's not fun. But I'm gonna destroy this. We're gonna hit the hay, and then we're gonna be off for another adventure tomorrow. Totally different video. If you enjoyed what you watched today, check out the video down here. Please like, subscribe, and share. Send this to your friends, guys. They would enjoy it too if you did. Appreciate you guys watching. That does it for Crystal Lake. Not our most eventful outing. I guess things to know about Crystal Lake if you plan on coming here. It looks like there's probably at least 20 plus spots. You can bring a fifth wheel back here. The road in, it gets really narrow at times. If you were to meet another fifth wheel, you'd have a problem. That being said, there is little pullouts along the way. You just have to time that up and hopefully be at one. As far as bringing kids out here, kid friendly, I would say yes to that. There's a ton of kids out here. I'd say the older your kids are or the more experienced they are, either in or on water, is going to really dictate how well your trip goes. Paddle boards, something to get them up on the water would be nice. The lake, you're kind of on the downwind side of the lake when you come in, and it's kind of nasty and marshy and not really super fun looking to play in, and it's a bit of a jaunt. That being said, if you can set up camp and still be mobile, which I guess we have that option, we just weren't, then you could drive back down to where it's a little more friendly to get in the water. Fishing, I saw a ton of people fishing. I didn't catch any fish, and I put some serious effort into it. I didn't see anybody else catch any fish, but they're in here allegedly. So I would say yes, this is worth your time coming to. Once again, it's pretty. It's very nice, and there's enough amenities. You know, they got the little dry toilets. So, and they actually have a well water available here too. And it's not a bad experience, guys. Just depending on the age of your kids or what you want to do might dictate a little bit if this is the spot for you. And it's only about I don't know, I'd say maybe at most 45-minute drive from Lewistown, Montana, about a 2.5-hour drive from Billings, Montana. So we're gonna head over to another lake, give it another shot. I think this lake that we're heading to is gonna be a little more user-friendly for the boys, and it's not as far up in the mountains. Oh, also no cell service. Make sure you got your in reach with you if you're coming up here. All right, that's it for this one. Signing off, guys.